Welcome back, fellow horror geeks, to cityofgeek.com presents 100 Days of Horror. Now we are looking at day 83. It is, I know, a couple days before Halloween as I probably post this. Maybe it's even Halloween itself, depending on when I catch up. But I did make 100 days, so eventually I'll get around to finishing all the reviews. So hold on tight. We're almost there. 4 days to go in real life, and I cannot wait. It's been such a fun process. The Changeover is a 2019 witch supernatural teen New Zealand film. Now, it's a lot of things to note in there, and note that Teen Witch might throw you off. Top that. But this actually is a fantastic film that I really enjoyed. I checked it out from the local library through the streaming service Hoopla. But let's talk about The Changeover, which is very much of a surprise for a movie I really hadn't heard of. I saw it popped up on a couple lists here and there, and I do keep track of everything coming out on Metacritic, and I saw it listed and thought this seems interesting, let's go and check this out. And I was really gobsmacked by how much I loved this movie. It is written by Stuart Mackenzie from a young adult novel. If I had to write down the name of the author, so I do apologize there. And it's directed by Stuart Mackenzie, who did the adaptation, and Miranda Harcourt, neither of which have a lot of credits for directing and writing to their name. This is a relatively fresh project for them. Harcourt is listed as a acting coach for movies going back a couple last decades, and I think that really shows in the way that we get great performances out of everyone involved. We both have a veteran cast made up of Timothy Spall, Lucy Lawless, and Melanie Lynskey, amongst others, but we also have great performances from young adult and child actors, mainly our main character played by Irana James, boy who plays a little brother, Benji Purchase, neither of which have a lot of credits to the name as well, so it's pretty fresh for a lot of the people here. Like, Benji is the only credit listed, but Irana has about 3 or 4 other things, none of which I've heard of. Maybe it's New Zealand based things, but she is fantastic. The kid is fantastic, and of course all the adults are amazing. For our basic plot, we have Irana James plays a teenage girl who's going through some changes in life as her mother's trying to have a new life on her own, raising her kids and having a lot of trouble with it. As the time as she's trying to break out of her family life and make her own thing, but also resenting her mom for having to take care of her little brother so often. And the mom's played by Melanie Lynskey, does a fantastic job as they put upon mom, who's dealing with all this stuff that's going on in her personal life and her work life and trying to balance that. And they come across Timothy Spall, who plays our villain, best known as Peter Pettigrew in the Harry Potter movies. He is a witch, warlock, whatever have you. Again, somebody doesn't turn into a rat, who puts a spell upon the young boy because he wants to take his soul, take his body. And so the girl has to deal with knowing something's messed up with her brother and this guy going on. Of course, no one believes in magic. At least no one in her family believes in magic. However, she does come across the local cute boy who with brooding secrets in her school, who actually is part of a witch family. So she meets up with Lucy Lawless, who plays his mom, and she says, no, you're a witch, and this is how we can unlock your powers. And that's what the changeover is, her finding her own witch powers to help to battle Timothy Spall for her brother's soul. That's going a little bit more into detail than I wanted to, but I'm going to leave everything else from there. What I really like about this film here is not only the great performances and the solid family drama with the witch level on top of things, of everything going on for that, but we also have witchcraft is real. This is no point where it says this might be fake, this might be him messing with them, this might be just a mental a metaphor for mental illness or covering for it in different ways. In the same way that Night of the Demon did, I think my number 6, of this year, where it says, no, this is real magic and this is how we're going to deal with it with other magic. So that's a really fresh thing here. We don't have that bit where she's like, oh, I don't know if I'm really a witch, or no one's really messing with that. So it jumps right into that, and that's a really strong take on there. Now, a couple of times it does show that it is coming from a teen novel, as we have the brooding cute boy with the secrets, but for the most part doesn't really show that. Outside of that source, it's a solid work. I will say that it doesn't really pull any punches. A lot of the climax, without getting into details, is a big gut punch. We're not taking it safe, despite the fact this is aimed at probably young adults. I think probably 13 or 14 try where it's aimed towards, but even with that, it still goes where it needs to go. Maybe it's because it's made in New Zealand, semi-independently, I believe, rather than a Hollywood studio, but Hollywood studios still kind of do their own thing, so that's not a front against Hollywood. But I've spoken so much before. If I keep talking, I'm going to spoil the rest of this movie, and I don't want to do that. I want you to seek us out, because this movie was I wouldn't say one of my favorites of the year, but it was a solid film that I didn't hear anything about coming in besides the fact that it had a really solid Metacritic score. that kind of intrigued me from what I was reading in the basic blurbs there. Fantastic performances from the kids, brought out from a first-time director if you wouldn't think it's a first-time director. Also buoyed up by a great performance of Tim Spall, a side performance by Lucy Lawless, and a commanding performance by Melanie Lynskey, who's always a solid character actress. I love her so much, and ever since Heavenly Creatures, she's been amazing across the board, even just sitcoms like 2.5 Men, right? Hey, you gotta pay the bills. The Changeover is a small but really well done film with great performances, no holds barred for where it goes, like aiming for where, when it goes for aiming for where it's going for, and I recommend you check it out. It might be streaming from your library. I'm pretty sure most people watch these videos, like the 5 of you, probably people in Seattle anyway, so you have access to Seattle Public Libraries. So go ahead and check out the Changeover, and we'll see you next time. Bye.